Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday, August 1st. We're done with the month of July here. This is another edition of Inside the Numbers. Got my co host here, Grass Guy. We're going to be going over some of the Major League Baseball card today, along with some WNBA action. Most of these, all the games start later today. Usually we have games starting at 1 Eastern. All these games are starting around 3 Eastern today and then taper off through the day. So a lot of these early numbers were given to you. So just be careful because none of these early numbers are in stone because we see late action. Just like there was a game I played yesterday in the WNBA where I took the under all day long reading that game. That game was going over the total, and then all of a sudden there was a lot of late steam on the under and late steam on both team totals under, and it totally switched late in the game, late in the day, and so I jumped on the under, and it went under by 12 points. So always pay attention to stuff that's going on late because you'll see a lot of late money that could really change things or just throw a wrench into everything that you capped for the day. So just be careful. That's why a lot of times it's not wise to get your wagers in early because things can happen throughout the day and then you're screwed. I mean, yeah, you can if you're on Kalshi or something like that, you can sell your bet early, but you'll take just a fraction of a loss and then just go back in. I've done it before too, where something changed and I had to go back in there and sell it, or I accidentally hit the wrong one. And so we're going to get started here. I'm going to pull up the, to note we're both live on YouTube and Rumble. I got 3 people watching on on the YouTube side, but let me pull up the Rumble side here. See if we got anybody in the chat. For some reason, I can't get a thumbnail created ahead of time on Rumble when I use my restream. So there's nobody in the chat yet. Got 2 viewers over there, but I'm sure we'll get some action over there. So I guess let's start up this Major League Baseball card. I'll let you go, Grass Guy, with your numbers here, and then I'll give a breakdown where the team totals are. We're still having issues with the Pinnacle site being able to get some of these games up. I was just looking at the first game, had it up, and now all of a sudden it says it's not available. So we're having some. Their website's having some major issues to be able to get these team totals in. So we're just gonna have to run it as it is. If anything, will go back, or I'll just keep getting a refresh. So I don't know what's going on their side, why they haven't fixed it. It's got to be frustrating people that actually use Pinnacle as a wagering site, the people that live offshore or in another country. But yeah, it's frustrating. Hey, what's up? We got a lurker in here. TB Sassy Pants. By the way, that's my wife. So she's popping in. She's popping in there, saying good morning.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice.
She's on the Rumble. She's on the Rumble side. Oh, I got somebody over here on the YouTube side. Tom Newberry. He's looking at some games here. We'll go over through all these games you guys are looking at in the chat. Once we give the rundown, we'll backfeed it through the chat and start answering some of your questions. So, Grass Guy, I'll let you take off with your numbers that you got, and I'll see if I can get this Pinnacle site friggin' working. If not, I can pull up DraftKings site. I noticed FanDuel, you can get team totals on there, but man, you got to scroll like friggin' all the way down on their page to get the team totals.
On this algorithm that I use, I can pull up the team totals, and they won't give me they give me the juice on them, but it's only for one side, whatever side they're predicting. I won't be able to give the other side. So if we can't pull that up on Pinnacle, I'll pull that up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So,
yeah, all right, that's cool.
All right, so we got St. Louis and Toronto first game here. Toronto opened on the money line -142. They now moved out to -156. 79% of the tickets, 77% of the money. St. Louis 118 to 129, 21% of the tickets, 23% of the money. So there's slightly bigger tickets on the St. Louis money line here, but they are moving it in favor of Toronto. Toronto -1.5, 54% of the tickets, 64% of the money. So there's a little bit of sharp action there. St. Louis +1.5, 46% of the tickets, only 36% of the money. This total is at 8.5, no movement yet. 40% of the tickets, 45% of the money is on the over, 60% of the tickets, and 55% of the money is on the under. This matchup not found there, but let me go into this right here.
Yeah, we got a model projection on this game too of 9.2 runs being scored on my end. I know we got who's pitching today. We got Matthews for the Cardinals and Gaussman for the Blue Jays. This is the first game on the ticket today. It starts at 3 Eastern. And then we start tapering off. We got 3 games at 1 Eastern, then the other one game at 3 Eastern, and then they're all night games today for some reason. So I don't know what's going on today in the sports world why all these games are starting so much later today, but it is what it is. We got to take that for what it's worth. I can give you some consensus of what the people think on these games today. On the first game here with the let me get there with the why does that say that's got the wrong friggin' date?
All right, well, I do have a team total for Toronto. They got it at over 4.5 at -105, and they're projecting 5.3 runs for Toronto, which is a lot for them because they don't score fucking runs.
No, they don't.
I'm looking for the one for the Cardinals. Here we go. Over 3.5 -125. They're projected at 3.9.
Yeah, the consensus on this game's got 54% like the under in this game, which is interesting because since that total's at 9.5, you'd think this game's going to be soaring over the total at 9.5.
I'm showing 8.5 here, and they got a projection of 9.2. So this is what I'm saying. Like we were talking about off air, Ghost. We've seen all these unders the last few days, and all of a sudden we're seeing these projections going skyrocketing over what the books are showing. But if you look at where the juice is, it's juiced the opposite way on some of these games. So we're going to have to be really selective on what we pick today.
Yeah, I just wish Pinnacle's site would stop screwing around. They get some of these issues
I know, it's pissing me
solved
off.
here because it makes me mad because it takes away from what we're trying to do here
Yes.
with these team totals. Because these team totals watching these team totals, Chad, is an edge to find out which way the books are projecting the game is going to go.
Big time.
So,
all right. Well, why don't we try to come back to that one and see if it works? Because I just clicked on Marlins and Mets, the next game, and Pinnacle is showing everything there.
Okay, let's do that.
So why don't we move on to the next game and we'll see if we can pick that later.
Yep, we can go to it right now. I'm looking right at it.
All right, Miami at the Mets. Mets -131 moved up 1 to -132. 62% of the tickets, 53% of the money. Miami 109 to 110, 38% of the tickets, 47% of the money. Mets on the -1.5, 28% of the tickets and 29% of the money. Miami +1.5, 72% of the tickets and 71% of the money. This total sits at 9, no movement yet. 35% of the tickets, 76% of the money. So there's good sized tickets on that over. 65% of the tickets and only 24% of the money is on the under.
Yeah, here's what's interesting in this game. We have the under sitting at -108, the over sitting at -104. It's the team totals are giving it away here for an under. Marlins are 4.5 to the under, -131, while the Mets are 4.5 to the under at -111, but they are juiced slightly to the over at -105. Looking at this game early, I know this game doesn't start. I think this is a 4 Eastern kid. Yeah, 4 Eastern. So there's plenty of time for this game to any kind of fluctuations in the line here. But looking at these early numbers here, this game looks like an under. Model projections only got 7.6 runs being scored in this game. So that's something to look at here. And in fact, I'm going to write this game down right now because I think this is something to be looked at later.
All right, so I ran this one through because of the edge gap in this one. I ran it through. So it says the accuracy sits at 49.6% across 268 samples, which is a good situation there. AI projects 7.6 runs against a line of 9, which is a -141 gap leaning to the under. That matches the prediction. So the books and the projection is in line. The under is implied at 53.27% against over at 51.2. So there's a vig on that because that adds up to over 100%. They're saying the accuracy sits the model at 4.96% over 268 games. Like I said, it's a large, meaningful sample size, but they're saying here the signal and the gap is real, but the model's historical performance on these games doesn't give enough information. So they're saying the model accuracy should be a little higher, and it's not, and that's the only red flag here. But it doesn't mean it can't go under.
No,
in fact, one of their big straw plays.
In fact, when the opening number on the total is 9 under minus 115. So that's something to consider when you're looking at some of these games. Always look at what the opening line is to see where it progresses throughout the day. So as of right now, I actually lean the under in this game based on what I'm looking at right now. Obviously, things can change throughout the day. I like to go in. I like to go in probably within 20 to 30 minutes before game time. That's when we start seeing a lot of late action happening in these games. A lot of sharp bettors hit games on two occasions. They like to hit them early, and then they also like to hit them late because they like to get the prime number when these games open up. That's in any sport, and then they watch throughout the day in case they need to come back, throw more money down, or hedge and take the other side, depending on what's going on. So this is one of those games to look at a little later on. Like I said, we've got almost 6 hours before this game. They threw out the first pitch, so it's good to write things down early and then check. You don't want to sit here and trust me, I'm guilty of it. Going back like every hour and checking things. I got to get more disciplined than that and say, okay, I don't need to go back here every hour. Maybe get the early numbers, let it go throughout the day, and then maybe within an hour or 2 hours before the game starts, then go back in. Because you'll just you'll just drive yourself crazy, and then you're glued to your phone, and then like my wife says, you always got your phone, you're glued to it. So I've got to really relax on that and just wait for closer to game time.
Yeah, because if that line's switching every hour on you, it's just going to fucking confuse you all the more.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It is. Yeah. And trust me, I'm guilty of it, and I need to lay off of that. And maybe just put an alarm set on my clock and hit it for like, okay, set this game for about noon, and then go back and look.
No, I agree. 100%. 100%. All right. Let's see. Next one is Twins and the Mariners. I'm not getting one on that either. All right. I'll read the numbers out in this one, and then I'll go into the algorithm and see what they say for team total, so we at least have a decent.
Hey, got the Cardinals Blue Jays back up. If you want to if you would hit that real quick.
Yeah. Let's do that. That's just weird how they're fucking doing that.
I know.
So again, just to go over that again, that was 8.5. That total. 40% of the tickets, 45% of the money is on the over, 60% of the tickets, and 55% is on the under. What do we got for team totals?
Okay, team total here for the Cardinals is at 3.5 to the over at minus 115. Blue Jays 4.5 to the under at minus 119. This might be a spot for the Cardinals, to be honest with you. You got some good value on the Cardinals at plus 137. The plus 1.5 is a little heavy juice on there at minus 159. I actually like the Cardinals here. Their team total at minus 3.5 to the over, but I wouldn't be shocked here. I know we saw something like this yesterday with the White Sox and the Rays, and I said this looks like a White Sox spot. And what happened? The White Sox blew out the Rays last night. So this might be a spot for the Cardinals here. So I would keep a look on this one. I actually don't like the total because I don't like when we have conflicting team total numbers where one team is juiced to the under, the other one's juiced to the over. And like I was saying before, whenever you see the underdog juiced to the over on their team total, there's a good chance they're going to win the game outright. So by looking at this early numbers right here, I actually like the St. Louis Cardinals to win this game outright.
I'm seeing 9.2 projection of this going over 8.5, and that kind of scares me a little bit because Toronto doesn't really score many runs.
Yeah,
I'm actually shocked that their team total is at 4.5 and not 3.5.
Yeah, the Cardinals could put up the runs today.
They could. They definitely could. As so far, this is a stay away for me. There's no real good signal here, but I think I do agree with you on the side where St. Louis could be definitely the side there. It's just not something I'm going to mess with.
Let's see. White Sox and Rays, we do have numbers on.
We do. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to that one.
So we got one game we still got to go back to.
Yep. Okay. White Sox at Tampa. Tampa Bay minus 175 came down slightly to minus 171. 79% of the tickets, 92% of the money. White Sox 144 to 141. 21% of the tickets, 8% of the money. So it's moving against the money just a little bit there. Tampa minus 1.5, 63% of the tickets, 67% of the money. White Sox plus 1.5, 37% of the tickets, 33% of the money. This total has came down already from 8 to 7.5. 65% of the tickets, 78% of the money is on the over, 35% of the tickets, and 22% of the money is on the under.
Yeah, here's something that's interesting too. We got 7.5 to the over at -114, 7.5 to the under plus 101. Now we saw yesterday with I believe it was with the Blue Jays game where the juice was all on the over, but the under hit. I mean, the under hit hit with ease. We got the same thing going on here with the team totals. 3.5 to the under for the White Sox is at -123. 4.5 to the under at the Rays is at -133. I mean, that's going under the total right there. And that under is not out of whack at plus 101. So looking at these team total numbers and looking at the numbers right here, I like under 7.5 runs. Hey, what's up, Blue?
Yeah.
The Ninja?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I lean under in this spot. I haven't wrote it down yet. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna write this down since while we're sitting here. I'm not gonna go over all my details until a little bit later. I'm just writing down what I'm seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, give me a sec here as I'm typing here. I actually want to look at what the opening number is on this. White Sox and Met, it was 8 to the under at -115. So we have seen some action coming in on the under. And with it opening at juice to the under, that's a sign too. This could be an under spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't have it. There's not a strong signal on the algorithm on this one. I have to scroll too far down to see it. Okay, so I'm seeing 7.89 AI projection, so it's right around that 7.5.
Yeah,
way too not enough gap for me to play around with that.
Yep, I got 7.9. So
yeah.
It's funny. I did one of these model projections last night. In fact, it was on that Twins and Mariners game because the line opened up at 8. That game ended landing right on that number 8. So this could be one of those situations. Why it's also the 7.5 is juiced to the over. The odds makers may be thinking this game is going to land right on the number 8, and especially with the projection here of 7.9 runs.
Right.
Yeah, I would use this tread this game with caution.
Yeah,
I did write it down, but if that line goes back up to 8, it might be something worth looking at. But at 7.5 and with the juice to the over, little cautious there. A little cautious. Let me see if I can pull up another game here. Nope, can't get that one. I'm going to go back to the one we missed and see if that one comes up finally.
Which one was that?
The Twins and Mariners I couldn't pull up. I couldn't pull up the Pirates and Reds either. I can pull up the Phillies and Orioles.
Yeah, I know Pirates, Reds, Phillies, Orioles. Okay.
Yeah, that one comes up.
All right. Okay. Phillies at Orioles. Baltimore plus 118 to plus 123. 18% of the tickets, 18% of the money. Phillies -142 to -149. 82% of the tickets, 82% of the money. So there's no sharp action on that money line at all. -1.5 for the Phillies, 61% of the tickets, 81% of the money. So there's 20% sharp action there. Baltimore plus 1.5, 39% of the tickets, 19% of the money. Total went from 8 to 8.5. 53% of the tickets, 93% of the money on the over. So 40% sharp action on that. Under 8.5, 47% of the tickets, only 7% of the money. So they got this thing. They moved up the money, obviously.
Yeah, the projections here has got 7.9 runs being scored in this game. Phillies are 4.5 to the under at -113. Orioles are 3.5 to the over, -111. This is another one of those situations. Now the Orioles are the home team here. They get one less at bat because the Phillies get all 9 at bats. The Orioles not necessarily get all 9 at bats. So, and I
is on the mound, and he's not. He's giving up almost 4 runs a game away from.
Who's that? Who's pitching?
Christopher Sanchez for Philly, but he's got almost a 4 ERA on the road. We have to remember that too. Not saying that he can't put it together against a lackluster Orioles team, but I'll tell you, This could be an over spot. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I think if we're going to have an over spot here, I think it's going to be the Orioles putting up the runs here because I like that team total.
Yeah.
The Orioles over 3.5 runs.
Yeah,
The interesting thing with the team totals, but if you go the other side, they're both juiced. The Orioles under at -105 and the Phillies are at -103. And the thing is with the game total, it's at -104 to the over and -108 to the under.
Yeah.
So this game could go either way based on those numbers because you got to pay no matter which way you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to pass on this game.
I agree. I don't.
Hey, got the Marlins and Mets up.
Okay.
No, wait, no, that's the game we looked at. It was the Twins. Sorry about that. Now that's still out of
Twins in Seattle.
Yeah, and Pirates and Reds. Oh, Pirates and Reds are up. Sorry, guys, that we're bouncing around here. This just because of the Pinnacle websites having some technical issues.
Yeah, it's kind of pissing me off. They were down for maintenance a couple times during the week, and you figure
and it looks like they're going to be down for maintenance again because they still keep getting a flag on it.
I know. All right, let's read this one out since we got it. Pitt at Cincinnati. So we got Pirates -123, came down to -115. 61% of the tickets, 62% of the money. Cincy went from +102 to -104, so they flipped through zero. 39% of the tickets, 38% of the money. Pittsburgh -1.5, 30% of the tickets, 67% of the money. Cincy +1.5, 70% of the tickets, and only 33% of the money. So they're kind of leaning on Pittsburgh here. Totals at 8.5, 49% of the tickets, 61% of the money is on the over, 51% of the tickets, 39% on the under. What you guys got to also remember too, before Ghost gets into this, some of these pitchers that are possibly getting traded, they could get scratched at the last minute. So you got to pay attention. That happened twice yesterday.
Yeah, here's one.
Paul Skeens was supposed to pitch, and he got scratched because I believe he was getting traded. So you got to be really careful on these pitchers.
Interesting. I didn't hear that about Skeens yesterday. I thought he got interesting. That's crazy. Interesting because I didn't think the Pirates are going to be trading players away because I think they still had a shot at that at getting into the playoffs. I figured they would probably be stocking up players.
Listen, I agree. I don't know what's going on with that though.
Man, I'll be pissed if the Dodgers start collecting all these pitchers.
They're saying Dodgers or trying to get screwball. If they do that, I'm just blow that stadium up. I'm sick of this shit.
Well, hey, don't you remember back in the 1990s, the Yankees were doing it.
Yeah, but they also didn't defer somebody's entire fucking contract so they can bring in someone else either.
No,
that's the shit that pisses me off.
Yeah, they didn't.
I can understand going over the luxury tax and paying for it, but if you're going to defer $68 million of somebody's salary just so you can bring in another pitcher, fuck off. I hate that.
Yeah, I think things are going to change next year because they're talking about right now. I'm sorry, we're just getting a little off track here with the plays, but next year there's possibly going to be a Major League Baseball lockout because they're going to be going over. They're going to be going over the salaries and things like that because you can't have just one team buying up everybody and then just becoming this dominant force where they're going to constantly win all the time. And no smaller cities have a shot. You pretty much your season's over when it starts. That's not good. It's not good for the league. Anyway, and here's another interesting thing I'll just say on these games. When you have because last night's game was just exploded with runs. A lot of times the next day they go under the total. So be careful with taking another over on this game. I know Blue had mentioned in the chat about taking the over. So I would just use some caution, jumping on the over again. But here we go with some team totals. The Pirates team total is 4.5 to the under at -125. The Reds team total is 3.5 to the over at -126. You're getting an under right there with those numbers. So I would use some caution here, just automatically jumping on an over on this game. I'm going to look up and see here with the model projection is projecting 8.8 runs. So it's right on that threshold. So I would definitely use some caution here, just automatically jumping on an over on this game. I don't like this game at all personally.
No,
but yeah, there's another situation too when we were talking about waiting on these games instead of jumping in early, especially this time of the year when you got the trade deadline coming up, players getting scratched at the last minute. Keep track of those today. before these game times start, because that's exactly what happened yesterday to Mize with the Tigers. He got scratched a few hours before the game because he was getting traded. So just be careful on some of these games and keep track of those pitchers throughout the day, because we're getting certain lineups right now, but players could be disappearing, and not just pitchers, but even position players.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
like I said, it happened on teams yesterday. So
yeah, especially if you got a hot bat in the lineup, that hot bat may get pulled because another team's looking to bring him in. So I would just use some caution on this game. As for the rounding up this game, I don't like anything in this game.
no.
This game wasn't even on my look today. So this game's a pass for me.
I agree. What was the other one we were missing?
Twins and Mariners are up now.
There you go. Yeah, I got it. All right.
So once we get Twins and Mariners, we're going to be caught up on the technical difficulties here with Pinnacle.
Okay. Here we go. Seattle minus 173 came down slightly to minus 169. 77% of the tickets, 93% of the money. Minnesota 143 to 139, 23% of the tickets, 7% of the money. So they are moving this slightly in Minnesota's favor against the money. Seattle minus 1.5, 63% of the tickets, 94% of the money. Minnesota plus 1.5, 37% of the tickets, only 6% of the money. Total went from 8 to 7.5, so it dropped. 71% of the tickets, 81% of the money on the over, 29% of the tickets, and 19% of the money is on the under.
Yeah, Pinnacle's got a flat 7 now, juiced to the over at minus 122. Team total for the Twins is a 3.5 to the under at minus 139. The Mariners team total is at 3.5 to the over at minus 143. Both teams are giving away money on the other side. I mean, the Twins are at plus 119 for 3.5, and the Mariners are at plus 122 for under 3.5. I think this game does go under that total, or it's going to land right on 7.
Yeah.
Based on those numbers, this looks like a spot for the Mariners. I know the Twins won last night 5-3. And I had under 7.5 runs. The game landed right on 8, lost by the hook. Unfortunately, because that 5th run was given up, I believe, in the top of the 9th.
I think you're right.
So, I don't. I'm going to look at this game later, but I don't like how we have the conflicting team total numbers here. But I wouldn't be shocked with what happened last night. This game does go under the total, but something to look forward to. This game doesn't start this game starts at 4 Eastern.
Right.
Yeah,
there's not enough edge in there for me to play around with this.
No, there's not.
Too close to the model prediction.
What was your model projection on this game?
Oh, shit. Where'd it go?
Mine's got 7.1 runs scored, so that's too close. That's too close for comfort there.
I got just under that. They got 7.09. So the edge is not big enough to even. I tried to run it through just for the hell of it. What I'm going to do is see if the team totals bring up any kind of spark here, and they do not.
Again, chat. I'll get through the YouTube chat first because I've got Tom in there asking a question. So after we're done here, I'll answer his question first, and then we go through all the chat on the Rumble side.
Yeah, they don't have much of a thing here for that. So, all right.
Well, we can move on to the next game if we're done with this one. The next game I'm showing I'm able to pull up is the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros.
Okay. I think there was a strong signal on this one in the algorithm. After we read it out, I'll go take a look at it. Texas minus 131 came down slightly to minus 128. 61% of the tickets, 37% of the money. Houston 108 to 106. 39% of the tickets, 63% of the money. Texas minus 1.5, 37% of the tickets, and 70% of the money. So there's pretty good sharp action there. Plus 1.5 for Houston, 63% of the tickets, only 30% of the money. This total's kind of high for a game for these two anyway. 8.5, 52% of the tickets, 76% of the money is on the over, 48% of the tickets, and only 24% is on the under.
Yeah, DeGrom's pitching for the Rangers today, so that's probably what could be an indication too. Model projections only got like 6.8 runs being scored in this game, which is interesting. The under 8.5 is juiced at minus 113 to the under. Team total wise, the Rangers are 4.5 to the under, minus 124. The Astros are 3.5 to the over at minus 120. That signals to me is an under. So yeah, I like that under 8.5 in this spot. I'm going to keep an eye on this game today. In fact, I'm going to jot this one down because I do like
All right.
the under in
I
this.
ran this through the simulator. So they're saying this is a solid lean towards the under. The edge is real. Both sides agree, and the accuracy in the acceptable range across a large sample. So they project 6.94 runs against a line of 8.5. So you got a 1.56 gap, which definitely matches their algorithm. The model sees the game playing out over a run and a half below the book's number. The book's implied number at 53.48 against 50.98. So the book's lean under, matching the AI. Both sides align.
Yeah,
55. And here's the other thing: the accuracy is over 55% across a 262 game schedule. So that's huge. That's a big sample size.
Yeah, and this total opened up at 8.5 to the under, minus 120. So you got to pay a premium to take that under.
Yeah,
so
I wrote this down earlier. Now,
yeah, I just wrote it down. Rangers and Astros under 8.5. I'll probably scratch the White Sox and Rays game just because I don't think things are going to line up in that game. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rays bounce back though.
No, absolutely, I would agree.
Let's see if I can pull up this Yankees and Cubs game. Yep, I can get the Yankees and Cubs.
All right, so let's get on that one.
Oh, this is the one we talked about off screen. The 6.5.
Yes, this is fucking weird. We're gonna go over this one for sure. Where the fuck is it? There it is. All right. Yankees open minus 125 on the money line, come down to minus 109. 70% of the tickets, but only 18% of the money. Chicago 104 to minus 110, so they flipped through zero. 30% of the tickets, 82% of the money, so 52% bigger tickets on those Cubs, and they moved that line to show it. I'm pretty sure that this is going to flip, but right now, minus 1.5 for the Yankees. This will probably go to the other side for Chicago. 46% of the tickets, but only 3% of the money. Cubs plus 1.5, 54% of the tickets, and 97% of the money. So a lot of money on the Cubs here. This total sits at 6.5, 73% of the tickets, 89% of the money on the over, 27% of the tickets, and 11% of the money on the under. Normally, with all that money on the over on such a low side, we would normally take the under. The algorithm is saying the opposite. What do you have?
Well, here's something. The opening total on this game was 6.
Really?
Yeah, 6 minus 125 to the over was the opening total. So this total actually went up to 6.5, not down from like 7. It went up. Wow. And you're right now, you're paying a premium on juice. In fact, the juice just dropped live. I'm looking right now on my phone. 6.5 minus 117 to the under.
Yeah.
This is something to really keep an eye on today. I don't like wagering on games with a low total like that, especially when we got a model projection of 8.5 runs being scored. Yeah, this is a scary game here to watch. It's interesting that Cubs team total is so low. And the thing is Peterson, who's pitching for the Cubs, is 6-7 with a 5.8 ERA.
Yeah. I think they're trying to bait you into the under in this game.
Yeah.
I think that's why the Cubs are at -2 or are at over 2.5 and not 3.5. That's just what I'm thinking. Like I said, now I ran this card earlier when we were off air, and I ran it again, and they love this one better than the Texas and Houston one. They say this one's definitely going over.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm actually going to write this game down because I'm actually leaning over 6.5 runs.
Yeah, I am too. They've been playing under. Like I said, I really think that because of the last few days, a lot of these unders have hit. I know because I've played them. And all of a sudden, I just have a feeling we're going to get to that weird Saturday where public's going to start hitting some shit. So we got to be careful on this. We got to really be careful on what we select today.
Yeah. Monitor that total today.
Yeah.
This line, if the under is getting slammed on this game, or they start hitting the over, we might see a flat 7. When it hits flat 7, that's kind of a stay away for me because now you're asking for a push.
Well, we won't get that on Kalshi. Don't forget. There's no flat
True.
numbers on that.
No, true. So you could still
So
play
don't move it
6.5.
to 7.5.
Yeah. You know what? While we're discussing this game, I'm going to pull up Kalshi and I'm going to look and see what the percentage is on that total. Because I'm just curious because since we're discussing this game.
Yeah, no, great idea. I had Kalshi here somewhere. There it is.
All right. 6.5 to the over is only a 48%. So it's 52% right now to play the under. If you want to take it up to 7.5, it goes up to 64%. Take 7.5 under.
No thanks.
So
I'm actually thinking about taking the goddamn Yankees now at over 6.5. I'm actually thinking about doing that now because you know that's going to go up.
Yeah, and you're not in that the 6.5 at plus 104. You're getting a bargain there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'll revisit this later. Now this game doesn't start until 7 Eastern. So you got a lot of time for this game. A lot of things can happen.
I'm worried it's going to go up. So if I like the over, I should at least put a little fucking sprinkle on it now.
Yeah.
It's probably going to go up.
Let me see if I can pull up the next game here. That would be the Nationals and Braves. Nope, I can't pull the Nationals and Braves up.
No?
Let me click it one more time. Nope, it won't let me pull up the Nationals and Braves. So we'll skip that one. We can revisit that one. I can get the Royals and Rockies right now. This is one we discussed off screen.
Yes.
This is drawing some.
It's the favorite play for the algorithm. They almost have a 3-run gap in between the projection and the fucking total. So let me read this one out. Just do a little refresh here real quick. Come on. There it is. All right. KC at Colorado. We got a pretty tight line here in this one. Colorado minus 118 to minus 120. 46% of the tickets, but only 27% of the money. KC went from minus 102 to even money, 54% of the tickets, 73% of the money. So they're moving this against the money. KC has the minus 1.5, though. 39% of the tickets, 83% of the money. Colorado plus 1.5, 61% of the tickets, only 17% of the money. This total went from 12 to 11.5, 34% of the tickets, 36% on the over, 66% of the tickets, and 64% on the under. So they did move this with the money on the total. What do you got here?
Yeah, it's 11.5 juice to the over at minus 111, but 11.5 to the under is at minus 101. So you're going to be playing. You're going to be paying no matter which way you go on this one. Same thing with the team totals, except for the Rockies. Let's go over the Royals first. Royals team totals at 5.5 to the over at minus 115, minus 102 to the under. The Rockies are 5.5 to the over at minus 119, plus 102 to the under. Yeah, this is a scary game to me because I know lately the Rockies have been playing under games. We already looked at the weather. There's not really much of an issue there. It is 92 degrees there, 6-mile-an-hour winds blowing from right to left. So the wind's not really an issue, but we know about the altitude there. I want to look at the pitching lineup here in this game and just double check here. And give you
12-mile-an-hour blown in, if you want.
Yeah, Avila, who's pitching for the Royals, has got a 4.95 ERA. Feltner, who's pitching for the Rockies, he's got a 5.73 ERA. So you got middle of the road ERAs here. This is something to watch. I know the model projection is predicting under. Mine is 2. I just don't like how both team totals are juiced to the over. So this is something to monitor and keep an eye on.
This is the best read on the algorithm today.
And this game doesn't start till 8 Eastern, so you got 12 hours before this game starts. So a lot can happen throughout the day. This is just some of these games we're going over right now, Chad, is just to monitor because there's we got 12 hours before some of these games start.
Yeah, AI projects 8.76 runs against a line of 11.5. So that's a 2.74 gap leaning under. And the books agree at 53.05%. So they're saying this one, The Yankees, Cubs, and Texas, Houston are the best 3 cards of the day in terms of accuracy, the gap projection, and being on the same side as the books. So they love this one more than any of them. It worries me a little bit because I took this one yesterday and it did work out easily. I know it's Coors Field and shit can happen. But they love this game. They absolutely love the under in this game.
All right, I'm going to go back to one of the previous games and see if I can get something up on that one, or if they're still out to lunch on it. They still are. I can't get the Nationals and Braves right now. Let me see if I can pull up the Giants and Padres. Yep, I got the Giants and Padres on the screen, so we can go over that one.
Okay. All right, let me get back to the
now, we're getting into a lot of these are all evening games now, guys, so a lot can happen. These are all like what Grass Guy does during the week after Will's show. These are all just early numbers, and a lot can happen throughout the day.
Yep. Shit. Which game are we doing again?
I got the Giants and Padres up on the screen.
Giants, Padres. All right, here we go. San Diego minus 142 to minus 150. 85% of the tickets, 60% of the money. San Fran 118 to 124. 15% of the tickets, 40% of the money. San Diego minus 1.5, 46% of the tickets, 32% of the money. San Fran plus 1.5, 54% of the tickets, and 68% of the money. Total sits at 8.5, 35% of the tickets, 83% of the money on the over. So there's large tickets on the over. They still haven't moved it. I mean, I know it's early, but they probably will. 65% of the tickets and only 17% of the money is on the under.
Yeah, the under's juiced to 8.5 at minus 114. Giants team total is at 3.5 to the over, minus 117, plus 101 to the under. Padres are 4.5 to the under, minus 126, plus 108 to the over. Now we know the Petco Field, I believe that's what the name of the Padres field there, is generally a pitcher-friendly park here. I would probably lean the under here. Now we know what the ticket breakdown and money is right now, but that changes throughout the day. I saw it yesterday. I saw it yesterday with the Blue Jays and Cardinals game. There was all this late money came in, and the ticket and money separation just took off in one direction, all for the under. And I knew the under was the right play. So keep an eye. I mean, those are things to keep an eye on, because a lot of the tickets and money are so up and down right now, because not a lot of people are putting wagers in my time it's 8:00 in the morning, especially in Vegas. People aren't putting all their bets in yet, just because they still got time. And that's where a lot of the line adjustments take off throughout the day. Is you gotta look at the time in Las Vegas and base it off some of that. Yeah, we have all the other accounts online and offshore, but Vegas that's the mecca. What's happening there, that's where you're going to start seeing a lot of line fluctuations, because what's happening in Vegas, the other books are going to follow. Vegas doesn't follow the books. The books follow what's happening in Las Vegas.
Exactly. I am seeing San Diego team total under 4.5 is getting hit pretty hard, because they have a projection of only 3.6. So that's almost a full run under. So if you like team totals, that could be something to look at for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back and see if I can pull up that Nationals and Braves game. Nope, still can't. So we'll move on to the next game, which would be the Boston Red Sox at the Dodgers. Can't get that game right now. So we got 2 games I can't pull up any information on. Brewers and Angels. I can get that game.
All right.
Brewers put it to the house last night on the Angels.
Yeah. I had a feeling that was going to happen.
Yeah, and keep an eye on them too. The Angels. The Angels are gradually letting some players go. They already let a relief pitcher go. So, and there's also some circulation out here in California talking about Mike Trout's going to waive his trade clause. I'm not sure if he's going to do that or not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to do that. Some people have speculated he could be going to Cleveland.
Cleveland, huh? I thought if any place it'd be the Phillies.
Yeah, I know, because that's his home. That's his home team. He's from South Jersey.
And you heard Bryce Harper come out a couple days ago and said in an interview, we need some help at the plate. So I could see that happening. I just can't see him going anywhere else. I mean, the fucking guy's one of the best to play the game, and he hasn't had a playoff game in his career. I don't think. Not one. Like, what are we doing? All right. Milwaukee at LA. Milwaukee minus 123, down to minus 118. 79% of the tickets, 98% of the money. LA went from plus 102 to minus 102 with 21% of the tickets and only 2% of the money. I'm very shocked they're flipping that through zero with 98% of the money on the other side. Milwaukee minus 1.5, 48% of the tickets, 89% of the money. LA plus 1.5, 52% of the tickets, only 11% of the money. This total dropped 9 to 8.5. 58% of the tickets, 93% of the money on the over, 42% of the tickets, and only 7% of the money is on the under.
I actually like the under in this game. It's an 8.5 juice to minus 111 to the under, minus 101 to the over. Here's where it gets interesting. The Brewers team total is at 4.5 to the under at minus 122, plus 105 to the over. Angels team total, however, is at minus 130 at 3.5 to the over and plus 112 to the under. I'll tell you what, this might be a spot that the Angels are going to beat the Brewers.
Yeah. Yeah, why else would they flip that money through zero or flip the line through zero with all the money on the Milwaukee side? And again, under is juiced for Milwaukee and the over is juiced for LA.
Oh,
so this could definitely be an
well, you've got the Angels aces pitching tonight. Soriano's pitching tonight. Keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on Soriano today, too. We got a lot of time today.
Right.
Keep an eye on Soriano on the trade block. I haven't heard anything out here, but keep an eye on that one in case he gets pulled from the lineup. And then Gasser's going for the Brewers. He's got a 4.71 ERA. Soriano's got a 3.9 ERA. So something to watch out for. I think that's why we're seeing some fluctuation in the line right now because Soriano's pitching. But keep an eye on this game in case Soriano gets pulled from the lineup.
Yeah, if that line moves back the other way, you'll know that he's out of the game.
Yeah, and I'll get a notification that says NA.
Yep.
So right now, I lean the Angels in this spot. If Soriano's still in the lineup and pitching, I lean the Angels, and I also lean their team total over 3.5 runs.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the last game tonight, and see if I can get it. Son of a bitch! Last game on the schedule, I can't get. I'm gonna go back to the Nationals and Braves. Can't get that one either. So I got two games.
I can read them out. And I can give you what the algorithm has for the team.
Yeah,
totals.
let's do that because we won't be able
to see the other side.
Yeah, I just can't get the team totals right now with what's going on here with this.
Well, like I said, I can get the algorithm for team totals. We just can't get the other side. Whatever side they favor, I can get, and it'll give me the juice on it. So that'll give us some idea.
Did I go? Oh, you know what game I didn't go over? Shoot, I totally skipped this game. I totally skipped the Diamondbacks and Indians.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we can go over that one. I got some interesting numbers on this one. I think and some interesting thoughts.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to write them down right now.
Cleveland minus 164, out to minus 180, 75% of the tickets, 63% of the money. Arizona 136 to 148, 25% of the tickets, 37% of the money. So there's a little sharp action on the dog there. Cleveland minus 1.5, 43% of the tickets, 62% of the money. Arizona plus 1.5, 57% of the tickets, 38% of the money. This total went from 8 to 8.5, 54% of the tickets, 86% of the money on the over, 46% of the tickets, and only 14% of the money is on the under.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'm typing up what the opening
number
was on this one. Okay. The total's at 8.5 to juice to the under, minus 115, plus 103 to the over. Here's where one of these spots that I like. The Diamondbacks are 3.5 to the under at minus 112, minus 105 to the over. Indians are 4.5 to the under, minus 119, plus 102 to the over. This is lining up to be an under spot here. We know how the Indians' bats are. Indians' bats have been cold. Diamondbacks have been playing a lot better baseball. You got Drake against Messick today. Projection is 8.3 runs, so that's actually really close to going under the total. I don't know what if you can run your algorithm on this one to see what you come up with. But
the game total?
For the game total, because it opened at 8.5 to the under at minus 115. That's where it's still sitting right now. So I actually like the under in this game right now.
There's not a big enough edge gap, I can tell you that right now, but I'll see what else they say.
I know the game doesn't start till 7 Eastern, but from what I see right now, I like the under.
Yeah, I do too. They're just saying there's not a big enough gap between it. Let's see what we got. Yes, So they're saying the projection gap is too thin to act. It's only 0.24 runs between what the books say and what the AI says. Let me get the full. Here's the bottom line. If we compare this one to KC Colorado that we just looked at, that had a 2.71 gap with a 58% accuracy. This one has a 0.24% with a 51% accuracy. So they're saying there's not a big enough edge. It doesn't mean it's not going to go under. It just does not fit their threshold of what they look for in a good, solid bet.
So it's a game to watch today, just to keep an eye on it. See if it stays at 8.5 or if they lower it to a flat
That'll
8.
be the big difference. Yes.
Because they could lower this to a flat 8. I'm looking across all the books right now. Oh, Bet Online, flat 8, juice to the over. There is one flat 8 out there.
Okay. So that's gonna be something to look at for later. Matter of fact, I do want to check that for later, so I'm writing that down.
Yeah. But try to look through some of the books I have here, the highest number. DraftKings has got it at 118 to the under. Oh, BetGM just lowered it to 8.
All right.
8 juice to the over. Which tends to happen whenever you see a fluctuation in the line or the total. Yeah. They're always going to go juiced one way or the other.
Yeah.
So
I can expect these team totals to move too, because there's not a whole lot of juice. Minus 112 and minus 119 is not a whole lot compared to what we've been seeing.
No, keep an eye on that. If that minus 112 for the Diamondbacks goes down to like minus 114, 115, and same thing with the Indians, if that thing goes down to minus 120, 121, you might have something there for an under.
Yep. Team total wise, just to go off base for a second, they love the Yankees over 3.5. We're talking about taking the over in that game. They're predicting 4.9 runs for the Yankees.
Yeah.
So that's another signal that game could be going over.
Yeah, I actually like the over in that game, but again, I'm going to monitor it. And I was able to pull up one of the games that I couldn't. It just came up. Oh, Nationals and Braves I can get now.
These fucking pricks are messing with us.
Yep. Well, we only had 2 games. This is one of them. You got one more game later. That was the Dodgers and Red Sox. I think was the other game I couldn't pull up. But now we can get this game. We might be able to get through the full card here.
Sorry, guys. They're in a different order. Okay.
You're right, Blue. I'll never call them the Guardians. They're the Indians.
No, they're the fucking Indians. I hate that shit.
Nope.
All right, here we go. Washington,
Chief Atlanta. Who lives.
That's right. Atlanta minus 193 came down slightly to minus 182, so they're heavy favorites here. 83% of the tickets, 73% of the money. Who's on the fucking mound? Lopez against Mikola. All right, well, that's a lot of money. Washington 158 to 150, 17% of the tickets, 27% of the money. So there is 10% sharp action on Washington here. That's why that came down a little bit. I don't know. Atlanta minus 1.5, 59% of the tickets, only 9% of the money. Washington plus 1.5, 41% of the tickets, 91% of the money. So there's 50% sharp action on that plus 1.5. This total is at 9.5, 46% of the tickets, 64% on the over, 54% of the tickets, and 36% of the money is on the under.
Model projections only got 8 runs being scored in this game. This total at 9.5 is heavily juiced to the under at minus 117. Here's where we have another one of these spots. Okay, the Nationals team totals at 3.5 to the over, minus 137, plus 117 to the under. Braves team total, however, 5.5 to the under, minus 140, plus 119 to the over. This might be a Washington Nationals spot in this game. I like the Nationals team total over 137. And I like the Washington Nationals in this spot.
Yeah. I actually just ran this one through the algorithm, and even though the line gap is enough, it still doesn't meet their threshold. It's not a big enough percentage.
Interesting.
All right. Yeah, exactly.
Let me see if I can get this Dodger game now. Son of a bitch. The only game I can't get up right now is the Dodger game.
Pretty high up on the list is Atlanta under 5.5. They're projecting 4.4 runs for them.
Well, there you go.
So that's something to look at also.
Yeah, team totals are nice too. I might start looking at those team totals under. It's just like the game totals under. Yeah. They have you're already winning the game before the game starts, And if it doesn't go your way, you can get out, go back and take the other side and take it over.
Yeah. Oh, so here's the other thing about that Yankees Cubs game. Also, not only the Yankees are favored over 3.5 at a 4.9 projection, but the Cubs over 2.5, they're projecting 3.6. So they're projecting more than a run difference from what the books are showing. I'm going to the over on both sides. So everything's leaning over in this game.
Yeah, I got that game wrote down. I'm going to keep it wrote down because right now it's still pretty heavily juiced to the under. I know Pinnacle had it at 117. DraftKings has got it at minus 118. BetGM's got it at minus 120, and BetOnline's got it at minus 118. So it's still heavily juiced to the under. Now, both DraftKings and BetOnline have juiced to the over.
There you go.
So
See,
it's going to be something.
Be careful with that. Like we were saying, sometimes on Saturdays, no matter what the juice is, it's the opposite fucking way. So we got to be careful. So when I'm seeing this algorithm going against those, I think I like the algorithm better because we've gotten caught many times where we had a shitty Saturday because everything that we went every standard we go by didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
So we got to keep that in consideration too. They said just be very, very careful with your picks today, guys.
Yeah.
It seems like a public Saturday happens a lot. Same thing.
Yeah. And I just, for some reason, the only game I can't get up is this Red Sox and Dodgers. We saw what happened last night. I believe the Red Sox came back and won that game last night against the Dodgers. I know Yamamoto's pitching today for the Red Sox. Yes, the total is at 7.5 right now. It actually opened up at 8 minus 120 to the over. It did drop to 7.5, juice to the under at minus 109. So it went from juice to the over at 8 to juice to the under at 7.5. Yamamoto's pitching against Tole for the Red Sox. He's got a 3.32 ERA. Yamamoto's got a 2.72 ERA. Now, Yamamoto is prone to give up runs, but he doesn't give up a lot of runs.
He's been pitching very well lately. I'm seeing 8 to 7.5, so it dropped. 67% of the tickets, 64% on the over.
Yeah, I actually lean the under in this game. I think this might be an under spot for this game.
Yeah, I do too.
But hopefully this game will show up later. I mean, right now I'm doing a refresh, and this is the only game that just does not want to pop up.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's crazy. I fucking hate it.
Oh, nope. Wrong game. Damn it. Got a little excited there.
You got excited.
Got a little excited. Almost blew myself.
Jesus. Yeah, that was the only one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the only game I can't pull up is the Red Sox and Dodgers. Sorry about that, chat. For some reason, this game does not. Yeah, on public Saturday, Boston does it again. They I don't know. They might. Boston has been playing very good baseball lately. I believe there are only 3 games now out of the wild card.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to answer Tom's question real quick because he's the only one that's in the YouTube chat. He says he's looking at Baltimore and Philly today, and the Angels and Brewers. Okay, we did give a rundown over there of what we feel today, especially with the Angels and Brewers. Keep an eye on that game because of Soriano.
Right. It's all going to matter whether he actually pitches or not.
Yeah, and we did go over Baltimore and Philly already, so that we answered his chat there, so we've taken care of that. Did we go over Detroit and the Athletics? Oh, you know what? We didn't because that game was locked out earlier. So let me see if I can get that one. Oh, we got it up. Yep, we got it right now, Tom. So we'll go over that right now.
Why the fuck can't I find it? What the hell?
Probably towards the bottom of the page. I think this is a night game. That game went over the total last night, too. That's the first time in a while that a game up there in Sacramento went over the total. Because Detroit just put on a clinic against the.
Well, that was like I said, I had a little parlay with the Vegas money line just for the hell of it, and I could have cashed out in the 8th inning for plus money, and then Detroit.
And look at that, and the Athletics pulled the Tigers pulled Mize and put in somebody else, and they still wound up kicking butt.
And exactly. So it doesn't always work. All right, let me find this fucking game. Sorry. Where the fuck? Oh, here it is. Okay. Detroit, Vegas. All right. Detroit minus 137, out to minus 168. 86% of the tickets, but only 32% of the money. Vegas 114 to 139. 14% of the tickets, 68% of the money. So there's big tickets on this, but it's moving in Detroit's favor. So that's a little weird. Here's another weird thing here. Minus 1.5 for Detroit, 67% of the tickets, only 2% of the money. Vegas plus 1.5, 33% of the tickets, 98% of the money. A lot of money on Vegas here. 10.5 is the total, 43% of the tickets, 91% on the over. 57% of the tickets and only 9% of the money is on the under. There's got to be a signal here for this game.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull up this game again. I wasn't getting the proper team totals here. Okay, here we go. Okay, the 10.5 is juiced to the under slightly by minus 108, minus 104 to the over. Yeah, the team totals here. Tigers, 5.5 to the over at minus 119. Athletics, 4.5 to the under at minus 114. The Athletics are slightly juiced to the over at minus 102, while the Tigers, on the other hand, are at plus 102 to the under. Last night's game went over the total with ease. This game here, they're landing right on 10.
Yeah,
So
I don't like that. If anything, I think I like the A's over 4.5 team total. They're projecting 5.4.
Yeah, the model projections, you got 9.8 runs. Yeah, Athletics, I'm seeing 5.4 runs. Detroit, 4.4 runs.
Yeah, I'm going to actually write that down for later. I might like that. Over 4.5, minus 102, and see what that runs to later. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure about that. We'll have to see. That might be the way to go.
Yeah, I'm going to give one more shot here on this Dodgers game. See if it comes up.
Yeah, go for it.
Son of a bitch. Nope. The only game I can't get right now. We finally got in all the games except for one.
Yeah. Sure have.
Because I was just curious. I really wanted to check out those team totals. You know what? Screw it.
Wait, I can find, like I said, I can't get both sides, but I can get the predictor to give me.
Well, I'm also going to go on FanDuel because I know I got to scroll all the way down to the friggin' bottom to get team totals. But let me see if I can pull up a team total on that game through FanDuel and see what they're offering on this game.
Oof, they got Dodgers. They got it right at under 4.5, and they got the line right at 4.5. But the under's minus 154. That's a lot to pay.
Okay, Dodgers team total is at 3.5 to the over, minus 148.
Ooh, that's a lot different what they got here.
Yeah, and this is according to FanDuel, and the Red Sox 3.5 to the under at minus 136. So yeah, they are projecting an under game here, and I can't disagree.
Yeah, there's just too much difference here for me. I'm not fucking around.
If anything, I would take the Dodgers team total over 3.5 runs.
Yeah, that would be the only way to go. I'm not.
It just dropped 3.5 to the over. Now is at minus 154.
Jesus.
So you're paying some heavy juice. You're paying some heavy juice taking that over 3.5. I no longer like that play because that's just a lot of juice to lay to take that 3.5 over.
Yeah. Too much.
And the Red Sox dropped too. They're now at 3.5 to the under at minus 138. But there's value taking the Red Sox over 3.5 because it's only at plus 108.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so
too rich for me.
I'm probably gonna pass on the Dodgers and Red Sox tonight.
More than likely. It also depends for me how I do during the day, because I will definitely just put the early games in and then see what happens later on.
Yeah, same here. I'm gonna keep an eye on. I know what the first early game is the Mets. I'm keeping an eye on that Mets and Marlins game. I think that game starts at. Now it's not shown. Now I can't get the freaking game up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that game starts at 4 Eastern.
My three strongest plays are Yanks, Cubs over 6.5, KC, Colorado under 11.5, and Texas, Houston under 8.5. It just scares me because I had those bottom two hit the unders last night, but everything's pointing towards it again. Obviously, I'll just double check them later, but that's what I'm looking at. Arizona, Cleveland is an under 8.5 possible also. Maybe Cubs team total over 3.5. I'm going to look into that as well. For the guys on YouTube and the guys that haven't been here, listen, we got these algorithms these AI things that we've been using on both sides. Ghost has one, I have one. They are killing it. My system is 51-29 so far since we started it, so you can't ask for much better than that. We're really finding ways to create some good angles in these things. So, and I can't wait for football season. My God, if this translates over to football season, we're gonna have a fucking ball this year. Yeah. So, guys, stay in tune to it. See what's going on. Don't just blindly tail our bets. Do your own research too. Take a look for yourselves. Always ask questions in the chat. This is what we do all the time. We're trying to build a community full of winners. We want everyone to win. So we're always rooting for everyone.
Yeah, and remember, both Grass Guy and I aren't treating this as like some weekend warriors who sort of want to go in there and have some fun, have a few drinks, and put a few bucks on a game. No, we're looking at this as a sports investment. We're treating these wagers as somebody that like is a day trader in the stock market, where they're just looking for a way to make a few bucks, depending on how long they got to stick in a trade, and then get out.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Sports investing is the same way as being a day trader in the stock market, because they get in and they get out, compared to like a regular long-term stock investing, which is a whole different ball game. Because you're just looking at long-term there, but it's the same thing as a day trader. I mean, it's a gamble on a day trade in the stock market. You're just hoping because you've done your research, you've done some work to get the proper information to be able to put your money in the stock market. It rises to a certain amount and you get out. Or if it goes down, you get out and sell early. So it's the same. We treat it the same way. This is an investment. We put our time and effort into all these games here that we look at. So yeah, it is a little time consuming, but it's better to put the time in to be able to produce the most amount of winners than losers. Because if you don't put the time into it, you're going to lose.
Exactly. 99% of people do not know what they're doing.
No, they don't.
They don't. So we go away from the public things. I'll add to it with the calcium with prediction market. I can't tell you how many times I'll take a side or I'll take an under 8.5 and it's 1-0 in the 8th inning and they're giving me a 93% payout. I'm taking it, especially with baseball. You never know who's going to blow the fucking game in the 9th. I've seen it happen more than once. There's no shame in pulling some of that bet and just taking it and leaving a couple dollars on the table, because it happens way too often.
Oh, trust me, I've done it in the stock market. When I see a stock going up, I get out. And then there's been a lot of times where I've gotten out of a day trade, and then all of a sudden the stock takes off. But I got out early. I still made money. But then you start scratching your head. Well, damn, I could have made that much more. Well, guess what? You played it safe. You still made money. You can't complain.
That's it. It's just about selling it for more than you bought it for. That's it. You don't have to beat your chest if it won or if it didn't win, or it's a whole different thing when you get into Kalshi and Poly Market.
Yeah, I did the same thing a couple years ago when the Doge meme coin came out. I invested in that when it was a nickel. I sold it when it hit 70 cents.
There you go.
Before it crashed.
Yep.
And my whole family did it. We all jumped in really low on Dogecoin, and we got out really quick. I think we were out within a day, maybe 2 days, when it rose up to its peak, and we all sold and made a ton of money on it.
There you go. Yep, that's all we're trying to do here, guys. I will post my picks on X and Locals.
Yeah, and I don't have a free play yet either.
To look at them for enough time, you guys will look at them before the first game starts. So we still got about 3 hours for the first game. So I'll be coming back in here in a couple hours just to check on everything and redo it. And I will post the picks. So if you guys want to see him, Grass Guy 0313 on Locals and on X.
Yeah, and you can catch all my premier action over on sportsconsultants.locals.com. That's where I put all my plays up, all sports access there. You get everything I post in there. I didn't play any Canadian Football League game last night. If I would have played, they would have both lost. So I'm glad I didn't play, because it's just the problem is on the predictor market on Kalshi, you've got to pay a premium to get the lines that you want. and it's getting ridiculous over there because they're just not offering as much as I want. So I passed on last night's game. I'm going to still take a look at tonight's game and see if I'm going to play it or not. Actually, there's 2 games today. One starts at 3 Eastern. The other one starts at, I think, 7 or 8 Eastern. So there's 2 games there. There's 2 WNBA games. One tips off here at 1 Eastern. I'm looking at both of them right now. I've been on a tear in the WNBA, so I plan on looking at one of those 2 games today. And I will have something over up on my page. As for a free play, I don't have one right now because I'm still going over the numbers, but I will record a standalone video here probably in a few hours with a free pick on there. My free pick hit last night that I gave out was with the Rangers and the Astros over the total. That went over with ease. And I know I made a mistake yesterday on the live video. I said under. That's why I went back and made a standalone video and said I made a mistake. I wanted the over, not the under. And so I hope you guys were able to watch that standalone video and took the over in that game. I just misspoke because I like the over, but I accidentally said the under.
That happens. Yeah, so these are going to change throughout the day, guys. Just whatever sports book you look at or anything like that, just see how the numbers are coinciding. Take a look. And if it scratches you the wrong way, don't bother. Don't force anything.
Yeah, and always keep, if you got any kind of a line service that you guys look at to see what's going on in the lines and all that, always keep an eye on that because things change throughout the day. Like I said, just now people are going to start dwindling into some of the Vegas sports books to start putting their wagers down. Baseball is probably going to take a little bit because of the late game, the late schedule today. Yeah. So, just keep an eye on things. Don't jump on anything too early. You like something right now real early, just use caution because things could change. Like we were saying with the trade deadline, pitchers could get pulled, players could get pulled and all that, and there could be some fluctuations on the line. I mentioned last night, I don't know if I know I told Grass Guy ahead of time, but last night I I had a WNBA game I was leaning on all day on the over. And I had the over all day. Then all of a sudden, about an hour before the game took off the other way. I started seeing the line drop. Team totals were dropping and going juice to the under. The game total went juice to the under. I said, whoa, what's going on here? And I started seeing some sharp action going in on the under. So I played the under last night and went under by 12 points. So if I would have jumped in early and taken the over, I would have lost.
Yep. That's very good advice. And don't be afraid to be old school, guys, and write your shit down. Don't just write the line movements. Write where the juice is and everything, so you can go back and take a look at it later and say, okay, that went from minus 102 to minus 115. That's telling me something. This way you can figure out what it is. Don't just blindly look at them. Do the extra work. It makes sense. It's so much better.
Yeah, I've got everything right here on my phone. If you can see that, I've got everything wrote down of where everything I'm looking at, all the sports books that I look at and everything, and consensus reports and all that. So I've got extensive background to do research so I can get everything because I don't just rely on one source. I use multiple sources. And if all the sources align, generally that's a play.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
So I guess we can get ready to wrap it up. I don't know if you want to, I guess I can pull up the WNBA games I'm looking at today. There's only 2.
Well, if you want to, sure.
Let's see if you can get the first one here. This one starts in about an hour and 15 minutes. The Vegas Aces against the Chicago Sky. The line opened up. It's at 6 right now, plus 6 to the Sky at minus 113. So it's heavily juiced if you like the dog here. Total sitting at 183.5, juiced to the over at minus 114. Team totals are also juiced to the over. 94.5 at minus 113, 89.5 at minus 114. All juiced to the over. Can you pull up any of your? I know I looked earlier and I didn't have a total on our website here, giving out the tickets and the.
I don't have a total, but I have money line and I have the spread.
Yeah, they don't have, for some reason they don't have the total up right now, and I'm not sure. Well, I could probably get that.
It's moving in favor of Chicago here, and there's hardly any money on them.
I might be able to get those ticket numbers through DraftKings. Because sometimes DraftKings has the right numbers I'm looking at. Let me see. I'm going to pull them up right now. WNBA.
Algorithm likes the under in this game.
Okay, yeah. Right now it's just out of whack because they got 44% of the tickets, but 100% of the money is sitting on the over. So it's like way too early there. We'll see some fluctuation in that. So and the opening total was at 181.5, and it's up to 183.5. So we've got a lot of money hitting that over right now. So
I'm gonna lean on the Chicago Fire here because they went from 6.5 to 5.5 as dogs. So they brought that line down with only 7% of the money on them.
yeah,
I'm going to take a look at that. Because why would they bring that down?
this is true.
93% of the money on Vegas minus 5.5. Why did they go from 6.5 to 5.5? It should have went the other way. It should have went to 7.5. Same thing with the money line. Chicago went from 219 down to 195, but they only have 4% of the tickets and 8% of the money. So why'd they move that down?
Yep.
That's against the money big time. So I'm actually going to write that down because if I don't, I'll fucking forget. But I'm going to check this out in a little while to see if that keeps moving in the same direction.
Yeah, remember this game tips off in an hour, so
Right.
the information for this game is going to starting to pour in since it's the first game on the schedule today. So yeah, take a look at that.
Even if they keep this line the same, if the bets go up and the money goes up on Chicago's side, I think I like it because that means those late bettors are coming in and banging on the dog. So I think I like that.
Yeah, if you do a team total, if you do the simple math on the team total right now, you're coming up at 185 points. So it's a 1.5 what they got the total listed at for the over, if you like the over in this game. Because it's at 183.5 right now. The numbers come up to 185.
I got a projection of 180.
I can't get model projections on my end for the WNBA for some reason.
I'm going to run this one through the simulator real quick and see what it says because they got a 2.63 gap in there between the books and the AI projection. Let's see. Does not meet the threshold. Okay. 41.4% across 29 games is not a big enough size sample. That's the problem. Our sample size. That's what the problem is. The edge and the signals are there, but the accuracy is not the deciding factor. So that's the problem. They don't like it. They don't like it. So it could be an overspot.
Yeah, I'm jotting all the numbers down now. I'm going through all the books right now. They're all everyone is juiced to the over with the line rising like that. BetMGM raised it to 184. They skipped it a whole point and went up to 184.5 right now.
Wow.
So we're starting to see some money coming in on the over. And Bet Online's also got a 184 flat at minus 115.
All right. There's another signal.
Yeah, I'm going to go back through and run these numbers here to check. Just because this is the early game, the other game doesn't start for 2 more hours. So these WNBA games go pretty fast because they only play 10-minute quarters. So these games go relatively quick.
Yeah, they do.
All right, guys. I don't know how much info. I didn't have a lot of information on tonight's football game. If you guys are interested, I can just give you some numbers. What I've got right now. Yeah, I don't have a lot of information because we got the Calgary Stampeders at the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I've only got a money line right now, and then we have the Saskatchewan Roughriders against the Edmonton Elks. I wrote this game down earlier because with this line flipped, the Roughriders were a +1.5 dog. Now they're a -2.5 favorite. There's 67% of the tickets and 99% of the money likes the Roughriders. I actually wrote this game down as a lean on the Roughriders. Obviously, I'll come back to it. I don't like some of these totals that are in the games. Last night, I know a lot of people had over 60.5 runs or 60.5 points, and that game went way under the total last night. It wasn't even close. I think they only scored like 30-something points. So I'm still going to be looking at those games there. I'm just not sure, just because of what Kalshi does right now. that I just very limited. And I hope it's just because it's the Canadian Football League why they're limiting this, because I really hope.
Oh, absolutely is.
I
It
really hope
absolutely
on Kalshi is not doing this shit with college football and the NFL.
No, they will not. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. How many people do you think are really betting on the CFL? You know
Not
what I
a
mean?
lot. Not a lot.
No.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I gotta get back over here. More consensus here. Yeah. See, that's the first game. 64. Now I gotta get a Kalshi number on this. All right, guys. We're gonna wrap it up here. I've got like half my family here because their air conditioning broke down in their house last night, so they couldn't take the heat.
Oh.
My new grandson was getting overheated last night. He wound up getting up around 100 and something temperature last night, and when he left the house, his temperature dropped. So they all stayed the night here because our AC works just fine here. So they were all burning up last night. So they're all over here. So we got a packed house today. So I got to go tend to some stuff here. Again, I will have a free pick in Major League Baseball up here probably in a few hours. I don't have anything on the schedule right now just because everything's early and I still got to look at a few things. So just pardon me for that one. Just look for my standalone video on YouTube and Rumble, and I'll post a link to it on X where you'll get my free pick on there. We're finally getting back on a winning streak on the free picks. We did have a very long dry spell on the free picks because everything was going the other way. So hopefully we'll get back on that one. I appreciate Grass Guy for hanging in here on Inside the Numbers today. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Smash or pass, and stay tuned for the numbers show after the morning espresso on Will's show. I will be on the round table tomorrow morning. I don't know what. Tomorrow morning we're going over the New York Giants, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes.
Oh, yes. I you know what? I'm going to text Beardo today and say you got to join the round table tomorrow. I said we're going over the New York Giants.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, I'm going to text
I
him.
absolutely think you should. We can use all the Ghost fans, or all the fucking Giants fans.
Yeah, tune into his show today too. He's doing Overtime with Beardo on his own channel on Fear of the Beardo. He's also doing because him and Will's show yesterday, the playbook, they had to schedule to today because Will had some stuff going on yesterday. So tune into that day. It's on the Sports Wars channel on YouTube. The playbook where they start going over some of the stuff that Grass Guy go over to. They start breaking down games and stuff like that with numbers and all that. But you know, he uses action for his numbers. So
I know.
Well, Grass Guy and I have our opinions on the Action Network. Nothing that ever lines up with what we're doing.
No, it does not. Hardly ever. We found that out last year during football season.
Yeah, we found that out last year during football season. Wait a second, these numbers don't match up with what we going. Wait, you're wrong. These numbers aren't the same.
No.
And you come to find out,
some of these sites take handouts without a doubt. They have to.
Well, and if you do a deep dive into Action Network, they run a sports book too. So take that for what it's worth.
Exactly.
You think a sports book's going to be giving out all their numbers? Of course not. They'll give out a few here. They'll throw you a little nugget, a little cheese here and there to go after. But most of the time, they're not going to give you out they can't give out you the information. They're trying to make money.
Yeah.
They're not trying to give away money. And they're going to probably give out whatever money they can or sides that they feel that this will just be like a free pick or something like that. So,
Exactly.
But stay tuned tomorrow morning. I will be on the roundtable tomorrow morning going over the New York Giants, and I'm sure they'll be talking about other stuff. So whatever's happening today in the sports world. But appreciate you guys in the chat on the Rumble side, YouTube side. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We're just Grass Guy and I out here just trying to give you guys the best information that we can when it comes to breaking down these games. Instead of breaking down all the statistics with the players and all that, we're giving you the numbers. What are the numbers doing on these games? That's the most important part. You can break down all the statistics with pitchers, batters in the lineup, how these guys are doing with their runs or projections and all that stuff. But it all boils down to the numbers. What is Vegas and the sports book thinking?
Remember, they know more about the teams than the teams know about themselves.
Yeah,
and that's how you can figure out the reads, figuring out
why
they're moving lines, where they're moving them.
Yeah, and that's why they keep tearing down and building new casinos because there's money to be made.
99% that suck.
Yep, because it's because most of the people that bet in Vegas are suckers. And when you win money in Vegas, if you're continually winner, they ban you. They kick you out.
That's right.
They want losers in there. That's it.
BMAC, I think, if I'm not mistaken, BMAC was banned from either DraftKings or FanDuel for a little while. They were at least lowering his amount that he could bet because he was kicking their ass for so long.
Oh, yeah, well, the odds maker I used to work with when he was doing offshore books, he got banned from several offshore books because he was taking all their money.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard the other day, longtime old school handicapper, he's in his 80s now, Jim Feist. He got banned from most casinos in Las Vegas because he was constantly taking their money. They didn't want him in there because he was always winning.
They'll never ban a person for losing all their money, though, will they?
Nope. That's why they give players room comps. I used to tell my dad that my dad was a big slot machine player. Him and my stepmom, they're big slot machine players, and their rooms were always comped. He never had to pay for rooms. And I hated to tell him that's because you're a sucker. I said that's why they comp your rooms, because you're a sucker.
My father has Caesars cards. He was a craps player. Like he knows. Yeah, he did the same shit. You can get Monday through Thursday or whatever it is. You can get any fucking room you wanted for free.
Yep. Yeah, because they give losers all the credit. Hey, you got a free room. Hey, here's a voucher for a free meal. They don't give those to winners. They kick you out.
No, pretty much.
And guys, I want to tell one more thing before we close up shop here. Especially Kalshi, because Kalshi is probably the number one predictive market for wagering on sports. Always pay attention to the percentages of the wagers on there, because most of the sharp players have all went over to Kalshi because there's no limit on the amount of money you can wager on there compared to a sports book. So they've all taken off over to the predictive market because now they can wager hundreds of thousands of dollars on plays and not get kicked out.
Yep. You know how many times I see it in the late innings? I'll go into a live game on Kalshi just to see what people are doing, and they're throwing $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 on one fucking side in the eighth inning. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw it last year on I know it was the Chargers against the Houston Texans. I think it might have been a playoff game or one of the late games in the season. I was monitoring that, and I kept watching all this late money coming in on the Houston Texans. I kept watching and watching and watching. I was seeing thousands and thousands of dollars coming in on the Houston Texans, and they were an underdog. I said, Houston Texans are the play here. So I played the Texans, and lo and behold, they won the game outright.
Yep. It's worth paying attention. Like, that late steam tells you a lot.
Yep. Pay attention to that late steam. The late steam means something. Like I said, the sharp players hit the games early and they hit the games late. So pay attention to that if you can.
And if you want good comedy relief, if you want good comedy relief, go into a live game on Kalshi and hit the live chat and watch those people talk shit to each other. It's fucking hysterical. That proves right there that 99% of the people do not know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. It is a goddamn comedy show. Check it out.
Yep. I wouldn't doubt it. All right, you guys. Appreciate you guys being here. We're going to wrap it up right now. This has been another edition of Inside the Numbers. Again, pay attention to next week or tomorrow, the round table on Game On. I'll be there. Grass Guy will be there. We'll be going over the New York Giants and whatever else we're going to talk about tomorrow. So you guys have a great day today. Good luck on all your wagers, whatever you put up. And I will have a free pick video up here in a couple hours once we get closer to game time on some of these games here. All right, you guys. Appreciate you guys being here. We're out.